Stockpile before the crisis. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. I want to talk about the food crisis that's coming. And what should we do about it? Common sense dictates we stockpile. Yes, but there's more to it than that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The coming crisis. I think there's probably people out there talking about this. I haven't been on YouTube, I haven't been on social media, or any form of media, or any source for a little bit now. But I think this is one of those things that people are talking about. Because of world events, because of what's going on here. Push for meatless society, farmers getting paid to plow under crops on a much more frequent basis than normal. We get it, yeah, it happens. It's been going on, but a lot more now. What about also the lack of availability of certain food sources, aka Russia, Ukraine? What's going on? Is Moldova next? Maybe. What about China? North Korea? What about other European nations that are either slowing down and or halting exportation of goods to keep for themselves because they know that something is afoot, that hard times are coming? What about also economic crisis? What about the going away from the petrodollar maybe? All these things will affect us. The prices of food, the availability of food. Oh yeah, what about the fertilizer shortages? What about the hay shortages? What about all these other shortages? Fuel prices that lead to trucking, increased costs. All this snowballs. All this affects each other. In this global economy that we have, the United States giving up all of its, basically almost all of its manufacturing capability to other nations, leaving us dependent on other nations, was never a good idea, in my book. Also, the fact that we rely on other nations for food, that's crazy. The United States of America, we have so much fertile farmland and areas to ranch, to raise food, to grow food, that there's no excuse that we would ever have a food shortage in this nation. Yet, here we are. Yet, here we are dealing with increased prices and headed for shortages, even more so than we've seen lately. So, what are some of these things we can do about it? I talk about stockpiling. Yes, stockpiling food is always good. And like yesterday's video, I showed you kind of a garden update. See, my hands are still dirty. We're offloading a truckload, 2 yards of the reject mulch that is free. It's just a loading cost. 2 yards loaded in my truck for $5.43. We're just throwing it in a pile right now for use wherever we need it. Because we made a dump run on the way back through town. I'm like, oh, let's grab a load of mulch. Why not? It's about $5.43. Good deal. Yeah, so we'll use that for mulching around different areas for whatever we need. Being self-reliant, self-sufficient, producing your own calories is important, vitally important. I talked about that in yesterday's video. Stockpiling food and what to do with all of it. That's another question. What to do with all of it? When you get a lot of food, I know, it's tough to find places to put it all. Storage units, maybe, as long as you have access to them. Friends' houses, maybe. What about bug out locations? What about caches en route? What about outbuildings? What about basements? What about crawl spaces? What about digging a root cellar? You can do it if you have area to dig. If you have a yard, you can dig a root cellar. Stockpiling food. What should you stockpile? What do I stockpile? I stockpile a lot of rice, beans, corn, wheat, barley, all different kinds of beans. Those are a lot of the big bulk items, but then a lot of canned goods also, lots of canned goods. Whereas they're heavier, they are rations. You don't need to prepare them. You can just eat them right out of the can. That's very advantageous in different situations. We don't want to make things more difficult on us when we're in a big SHTF environment or situation. All the water that it takes to make rice and beans, also, you got to take that into account. Are you stockpiling water? It may be a big food shortage, but what about water? How easy is it for you to lose access to water? Are you on city water? What if they turn it off? What if the grid goes down? Are you on well? Do you need well pump water or well pump power? Think about these things. Do you have manual pump capability to it? Do you know where all the lakes and streams, rivers are in your area? Can you collect rainwater? All these things you need to think about. That's why I put water in everything. Anything that'll hold water, I put water in it. I'll find places to put it. That's all right with me. But stockpiling food. We're getting to the point where I highly recommend you guys have at least a year of food. Bare minimum. A couple months, 6 months. I don't even like that figure. How long do you want to live in a long-term event? Put it that way. Combined with your ability to produce your own inputs, your own calories. Foraging, yes. Hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, all that, yes, definitely. But seriously, there will be, when it really becomes apparent that we have food shortages, it will be a crisis, especially in this country. Americans will freak out. They will freak out if they don't have the variety that they're used to, the abundance that they're used to, the availability that they're used to, the prices that they're used to. Yeah. Americans don't deal very well with that. They're spoiled. We are spoiled by abundance. We've been blessed, but now a lot of us have become spoiled. And bad things will happen. We don't want to be out there in the middle of that crisis when people are behaving badly because they're hungry and they want food. I don't want you guys out there. I don't want you guys waiting in line at the grocery store or waiting in line for a handout. I want you guys to have lots of food set aside. It's not that expensive. It's not that expensive to do it, a little bit at a time. I used to in my videos say all the time, prep a little every day. Seriously, prep a little every day. And this isn't out of fear. This is coming, people. There's too many things lining up right now. We're being pushed towards a world war. And even if that doesn't happen, there's a lot of stuff going on where this won't be any better in a short period of time, in any time frame I can see. So take this seriously. I know I've said this a lot. I know other people have said it a lot probably. But take it seriously. Stockpile lots of food. Lots of food that you eat and that you enjoy. Don't forget the spices. Don't forget the things you need to accompany the bulk foods. What about yeast, baking soda, baking powder, sugar, honey, salt, all these things? Yeah, it's time to up your game. I have potentially good news. Hopefully my wife will be coming home from the hospital soon. Over the next couple days, hopefully. Hopefully that'll be a really good thing. And we will move forward from there. I'll tell you one thing, this has definitely taught me, is every once in a while, you need a slap in the face to really get down to it about how much you love somebody. We become complacent. It's normal everyday life, you know? I feel that I am definitely on board with loving my wife even better than I did before. I think I did a decent job before. But we need to be reminded of what's truly important sometimes. How much we truly love each other, how much we truly care about each other. So, yeah, that's going to be a good thing, I'm pretty sure. Hope so. Anyway, I love you guys. Please prepare. Don't be out there when the crisis goes down. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.